Well, hey, handy people, Dan here. Hey, have you ever had a problem with the Tpms sensor and you go to, put air in it and then the end of it cracks off or falls off or breaks off or starts leaking? Well, that happened exactly to this rim that's on the floor behind me, and I'm going to show you how I fixed it. It's pretty easy, it's pretty quick, so come on. Well, the first step was I had to find some tool that would repair it, and I Googled it, using good old Google machine, and I found out that there's this cool tool called the Recore Tpms Stem Repair Kit, and this was sort of like what happened to mine. It just kind of snapped off. So this has a kit that has some fresh ones. A thread locker, valve core tool. Oh, that's for taking the valve out. Mine blew out. This is for drilling it out, and I'll show you that in a second. And then this is a tap with a little tap handle for tapping the threads, so you can put these guys in. So let me show you how that works. It's pretty simple. The instructions are on the back of the package. They come with the tool, but basically you start off with this special drill bit. It's like a two-step drill bit, and you fit it in here, and I'm gonna drill this out. Then I gotta drill this down. Now that I'm getting to the thicker part of the drill bit, I gotta drill the stem down to within 1/8 inch of that nut that's on there. It's not hard. This thing cuts pretty nice. Okay, next step, it says you take the tap that's included. I had to tighten it up, and it's got a little arm that goes in and out for tightening it. It says do not use any lubricant on this. Normally when you're tapping, you use lubricant, but in this case it says not to. So it's always best to follow the manufacturer's directions. And you gently put it in, back, in, back, in, back. I don't like this. I think I'll put a piece of tape on it so it doesn't fall out in the future. But for purposes of today's exercise, I'm just gonna gently go in and keep cutting as it drills itself in. And you want to cut threads in quite a ways, at least as far as the length of the threads are on the stem, which is right here. So I want to go in at least that depth. So it's quite a ways. Now, if you're doing this on the car, they say to turn the wheel so it's either at 9 o'clock or 3 o'clock, so that it's easier to access. I don't know how that is, but I guess it's because of the angle of the valve stem. It's more level. But let's see where we're at. Looks like we've got a pretty decent amount of threads done, but I'm going to run this back in one more time. It doesn't say to do that, but if you're careful and you guide it in on the same threads, you'll be fine. I'm cutting it a little deeper because don't think I'm deep enough for this to screw in yet. And take your time. Don't force it. If it starts to get stuck, back it up. You notice I keep backing it up. In and then back, in and then back. And then you want to pull it out. These are all aluminum. These Tpms, at least this one is. I think most of them are. Backing it out. I'm pretty sure I got in plenty of depth that time. And I'm going to compare, once this comes out, I'm going to compare the depth. Yeah. See, I can see where I made cuts and how deep it went, and it's deeper than this. So, that takes care of that. I'm going to turn this like that, bounce it a couple times, try to knock any chips that might be in this hole. You can also use pneumatic air pressure, or a vacuum, I suppose. But now I'm just twisting this guy in. Say you take the cap off. I'm going to run that tap in there one more time. Again, I put it at 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock. This is at 3 o'clock. That should do the trick. Threading that valve stem back in. want to at least drive it in to where it stops on the O-ring. You don't want to squeeze the O-ring just yet, I don't think, but you want it to be able to go in. So that time I was able to get it to go all the way in to the O-ring. Now we take some of this stuff, which is the Loctite that comes with it. It's got a little snap top, I guess. Pull the top off, and they say don't get it too close to the inside edge, because you don't want it getting inside of the sensor. But you want to put a decent amount on here, so that, and I'm keeping back from the tip, the leading edge, because I want it to, that's what they say in the instructions. So it always pays to follow the directions, because the manufacturers want you to be successful. And yeah. So it just makes sense. Now this time they say, put this in. Put it in like that. They say take the cap off before you screw it all the way in. And then we use this guy. And this is a little torque tool, which is kind of neat. They say to crank it in tight. There's one click, 2 clicks, 3 clicks. That's how you torque it properly, 3 clicks. All right, I'm gonna let it sit now. It says let it sit for 15 minutes, and then you can fill it with air. So I just got done filling the tire with air. I let it sit for about an hour to let that Loctite dry. But there she is. And she's holding air nicely. No leaks, no runs, no drips. I'm pleased. Oh yeah. That's a good product. Now that I got the kit, I've got one more stem in it. So I can fix one more of these if another one goes bad. And the good news is I don't need to reprogram anything. So that's also nice. Well, typical Southwest Michigan, we had a blizzard. Well, we only got about 2-3 inches of snow, so not too bad, but it all came real quick. But if you'll notice that rear tire, she's holding air. She's not moved, and yeah, the TPMS thing is gone. Oh yeah, success. So hey folks, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, this little guy right here is doing what it's supposed to do. Oh yeah, that's a sweet repair. And there's no fiddling around with programming and balancing the tire and so forth and so on. That's really nice.